CD Baby. Now, we've been hearing about it for a lot of years. Just for the, just break down the prominent role of CD Baby. I mean, I know you've taken on a bunch of different things. You guys have had to pivot in different kinds of media, but CD Baby, what is CD Baby?
All right. So CD Baby, we're basically an online distributor for independent DIY artists. We also have a publishing administration level, so it's called Pro. And basically, we could administer the rights of the artist so that we collect royalties globally for the artist. Saves them a lot of time and hassle. Sometimes, the amount of it takes to just sign up and manage your accounts and all that could take a ton of time. And basically, the artists retain complete rights to their songs, their music. And it's just a way that artists can get their music out globally and collect royalties much easier than it sure was when I was an artist. That's for sure.
Are bands still making albums and selling, or is it just sort of, we've got a record for you to buy, but we know you're probably going to download it, or you're going to subscribe to iTunes or Spotify. It's going to be up there. I've heard some bigger artists say, what's the point of making records right now? Let's just put out one song every 3 months, and then that's just the way it's going to go. So is that happening with CD Baby? Are people making full records right now?
Yes. So that's one thing to think. Our name, CD Baby, we're digital distributors. We do warehouse distribution of CDs still for artists that still use that platform. So is CD sales down compared to before? Yes. In some niches and certain markets, they're still strong and steady. So for instance, I would say in Western Alberta, country music fans, they'll buy CDs for sure. 100%. Folk music fans tend to buy CDs. I was at Folk Alliance in New Orleans earlier this year. It was the last conference I was able to attend. And their CDs are still pretty big in that type of market. So I think it's an understanding of who your audience is and who your market is. And right now, what I'm seeing in Canada is people are willing to support these bands that are struggling by buying something right now. So yes, right now is still a viable source of income if that's your market.
Are you allowed to push a medium, from the standpoint of we don't think you should make records now. You should do this. This is your best way to maximize income. This is the best way to maximize your brand. Do you obviously offer that service, but do you shy away from certain things and recommend your clients to go a certain way to try to give it the best shot?
Yeah, so we've got a DIY podcast and a DIY blog, which is all about tips, tricks, and strategies, also what tools to use. Obviously, the international market is online, and that's the way to go. So again, CD Baby, we're digital distributors. We do sell CDs if artists want it through Warehouse, but it's a pretty small level compared to what it used to be for sure. I usually do a talk on how to do a release strategy for a DIY artist. There's a lot of tips and tricks, I tell artists that if you have one song, you should have about 5 versions of it. So an acoustic version, a single version, which in the old days we would call a radio edit, which usually means no guitar solos. And then you have the long version with guitar solos and all the extra stuff. But nowadays a big one is features. So if you collaborate with somebody and they remix your song, you could have their name associated with it. Or if you have somebody else sing on it, which is easy to do now, you get their audience and your audience exposed to the music. And then I often say do an acoustic version, and I also say do instrumental version where you literally just hit mute on the vocals. And the reason for that is if there's a sync and license opportunity, they almost always want an instrumental with the full version, and it has to match exactly because they like mixing it in and out and it's sounding exactly the same. So often producers are like, oh, no vocals, let me fix it for you. And no, it's got to be exactly the same. Just hit mute, put it out, and then that's a good option for sync it, like getting placed in film and TV and things like that.
Is that an easier place to be now? It used to be so like you needed a publishing deal. At least from the mid 90s when I remember coming through, there was a level, as we talked about, it was like get it here, get the song out, get the publishing deal, record deal, sure, but publishing deal was very important to go after TV and film and all the rest of it. I just did a private performance for an artist, oversaw sort of a Zoom performance for a major movie studio who was going to sync that artist into 10 different kinds of film. And it seems like that's a crazy way right now, more than ever, or an easier way now for artists to get on the radar.
Absolutely. It's easier than ever before. Not easy to get selected, but easier to at least be part of the game. And so like CD Baby, we have a service, we have a whole sync and license team. So if the artist agrees to be allowed to be put into our database for that side of things, like you just got to click off a couple things. And meaning that music supervisors, the one thing that they like is to be able to do the deal super quick. Mm-hmm. Like there's times where it's like, do you have this? And I need it in an hour. And what they mean too is they need to have the rights cleared to use it in an hour. So I've seen a deal where we asked an artist, or this is before CD Baby, but I asked an artist about it, and they're like, oh, I got to talk to the bassist. He wrote part of it. I'm like, I need to know now because there's thousands of other bands wanting to take this. So music supervisors need to be able to just get the answer quickly. And so CD Baby, we actually have a database search, and it's really intensive. It's crazy. You could be like, I want a song that sounds like it's from the 50s, that is 111 beats per minute in the key of A minor, and it'll find it, right? And we've done some pretty amazing things. So like the last round of Stranger Things, we had an artist place, I think it was like 3 songs in it, and they're just an independent artist, and it happened to be music that sounded like it's from the 80s. Right. And so it's in Stranger Things. So yeah, it's basically music supervisors are looking at catalogs of music now online, where before you had to know the music supervisor, and you couldn't because there was no email address. There was only a phone number, but they wouldn't give it out. And so, yeah, so it's super, not super easy. It's way easier than it was in the past, for sure.
The desk of CDs no longer exists. The EPKs and the electronic press kits that we all spent so much money on to get into the mailroom, so just to get on the radar. We played 4 shows with I Mother Earth.
All that.
Play us on the radio. Like, we played 7 shows with the Tea Party. I mean, obviously you're on an agent's radar by that point, but just a funny thing. But that struggle was like, and it led to my next question about the ease of the business now. So we talked about the levels before, but it was like a structured out almost system to break an act.
Exactly.
And today, I watch a lot of live shows. I'm not on the management side or even tour managing side anymore, where you would see, the process, but I do deal with a lot of managers. I do deal with a lot of agents from what I do now, from running concerts all over the place. But daily, it almost seems like every single day it changes. And am I wrong on that? Because before it was like, just follow these 20 steps. And if it doesn't happen after those 20 steps, you're probably out. Now it's like you got 1,000 steps to try.
You know what? You're 100% right. And I think, another big part of our industry is that's come to light is our mental health. And I think as a result of there's this feeling I haven't done enough today, and I haven't posted enough on social, or I haven't got enough likes back on social. I haven't got enough engagement. I should be remixing. I should be writing. Like now it's almost like, because there's no structure, I think a lot of people just feel like they've never they haven't done enough yet.
Right.
They haven't either completed tasks or they haven't achieved their goals. And it's how do you even measure, am I even moving forward? Like, I've done all this stuff. Has it even made a dent in anything? And, oh, that guy, he's got thousands of plays. Why? So I think it's a thing that we have to sort of address and put to light and sort of go, it's okay to be at this level as long as you're putting your own structure together and you can measure, are you improving or not, and how to change it. And I think this is a big part, kind of tying back to Indie Week and CD Baby. It's a huge reason why we do education and focus on education so much, is that we're trying to give the tools to the artists that they can learn how to run their own business and how to be successful. And success doesn't necessarily mean I'm driving a sports car and have a mansion. It means I can have a career. I can monetize and have an ongoing career.
Thanks for stopping by, friends, to the Brenton on Tour podcast channel on YouTube. Coffee, music, travel, life, all of those things. One page, lots of guests, lots of chatter. We talk about all of it. If you like it, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment. I'll get back to you. Thanks, friends. See you next time.